Disturbing Lost at Night. Horror Stories. Volume 2. Story 1. The Moonlit Path. Jenna and her hiking group lost their way in the dense forest as night descended. With only the moon to guide them, they stumbled upon an old, narrow path not marked on any map. As they followed it, hoping for a way out, the woods seemed to close in, and an unsettling silence enveloped them. Strange symbols etched on the trees, and an increasing sense of dread suggested they were not alone. Whispers echoed through the trees, and figures seemed to flit in the shadows just beyond the reach of their flashlights. The path led them in circles, always returning to a clearing where the moon shone unnaturally bright on an ancient, rune-covered stone. Story 2. The Forgotten Road. Mark, driving home late from work, took a shortcut he remembered from his childhood. The forgotten road was overgrown and barely visible in the night. As he drove deeper into the neglected route, his car's headlights began to flicker until they went out completely, forcing him to stop. Stranded, he noticed an old, dilapidated house by the road, light flickering through its broken windows. Venturing inside for help, he found the house abandoned, or so it seemed. As he explored, the house appeared to age and decay before his eyes, and the whispers of its long-gone inhabitants grew louder, sharing tales of sorrow and warning, urging him to leave before he became part of the house's history. Story 3. The Lake's Whisper. Emily, camping solo by a serene lake, woke to the sound of whispering waves under a moonless night. Drawn to the water's edge, she saw reflections not of the stars, but of another world beneath the lake's surface, a place of shadowy depths and glowing eyes. The whispers became pleas, begging for release or inviting her to join. The lake, calm by day, revealed its true nature at night, a gateway to somewhere forgotten by time and reality, hungering for the living to breach its watery veil. These stories, each a journey into the unknown and terrifying, set the stage for a larger narrative, where the thin veil between worlds frays and the protagonists must face their fears and unravel the mysteries of the night, or risk being lost in the darkness forever. Hash, hash, hash. Continuing the Lost at Night Horror Stories. Volume 2. Story 1. The Moonlit Path. Continuation. As Jenna and her group retraced their steps on the moonlit path, the whispers grew into urgent, disembodied voices, warning them of a looming, unseen threat. Night seemed to stretch endlessly, time warping around them. They encountered ancient, gnarled trees that appeared alive, their branches twisting in unnatural directions, as if pointing towards a hidden truth or a buried secret in the heart of the forest. The rune-covered stone in the clearing pulsed with a ghostly light, drawing them back despite their attempts to escape, hinting at its role as a key or a lock to something ancient and powerful slumbering beneath the earth. Story 2. The Forgotten Road. Continuation. In the old house, Mark's reality became increasingly distorted. Rooms shifted, hallways elongated, and the whispers turned into clear voices, recounting the house's grim history, filled with tragedy and darkness. He stumbled upon a room where time seemed to stand still, containing relics of the past that held the essence of those who once lived there. The house, alive with memories, trapped between decay and the moment of its abandonment, seemed to feed off his fear and confusion, offering glimpses of the past and future, blurring the line between the living and the dead as it sought to claim him as its own. Story 3, The Lake's Whisper, continuation. Emily, mesmerized by the lake's otherworldly reflections, found herself drawn into its depths, her reflection merging with the shadows beneath the surface. In the water, she experienced visions of an ancient, submerged world where spirits lingered, lost and yearning for contact with the surface. The lake, a sentinel over this drowned realm, whispered of a cyclical tragedy, an event that bound these spirits to its depths. As the boundary between her world and the one beneath the lake thinned, Emily faced the decision to heed the lake's seductive whispers, risking her soul to uncover the truth, or to break the cycle and free the spirits trapped in the watery grave. These continued stories deepen the mystery and terror of the night, each thread weaving into a tapestry of fear and intrigue that binds the characters to their fateful decisions as they delve further into their respective horrors. The line between reality and nightmare blurs, setting the stage for further revelations and the inevitable confrontation with the darkness that lurks at the edge of the known world. #### Story 1, The Moonlit Path, further continuation. Jenna's group, now visibly strained and on edge, realized the path was not merely a physical trail, but a journey through the forest's haunted history. The rune-covered stone in the clearing seemed to be a nexus of power, its inscriptions matching constellations overhead in a celestial alignment that occurred once every century. As they deciphered the runes, the group unwittingly initiated a ritual, awakening the slumbering entity the path was meant to contain. Shadows coalesced into tangible forms, revealing glimpses of the forest's ancient past, and the rituals performed to seal away an old, forgotten darkness. The group must now decide whether to complete the ritual to reseal the entity or find a way to escape the forest's ensnaring grip as the entity begins to influence their thoughts and fears. Story 2, The Forgotten Road, further continuation. Mark, trapped in the dilapidated house, discovered it was a nexus for lost souls, drawn to the place of their tragic demise or unresolved earthly business. The house, feeding on these souls' energies, maintained its existence between decay and the moment of tragedy. Mark found an old journal belonging to the last resident, revealing that the house was built atop a site used for dark rituals, binding it to a cycle of death and rebirth. To escape, Mark must unravel the house's mysteries and break the cycle, freeing the trapped souls and himself. Meanwhile, the spirits became more active, some malevolent, seeking to use Mark to perpetuate the house's legacy, while others, remnants of the house's happier past, sought to help him end their torment. Story 3, The Lake's Whisper, further continuation. Deep within the lake's embrace, Emily's connection to the surface world faded, her consciousness melding with the lake's ancient, submerged memories. She learned of a catastrophic event that sank a civilization, its people's spirits bound to the water that claimed them. The lake, a guardian of these souls, whispered of a looming recurrence, a cycle nearing its next peak. Emily, now a bridge between the lake's depths and the world above, faced the daunting task of preventing another tragedy. To do this, she must communicate with the surface, guiding someone to break the cycle by performing a counter-ritual that would release the trapped spirits and prevent the lake from claiming more lives. These storylines, evolving in complexity and depth, create a rich tapestry of interconnected horror that beckons the characters deeper into their nightmarish realities. Their struggles against the encroaching darkness become a fight, not only for their survival, but also for the resolution of ancient mysteries and the prevention of recurring tragedies. ###. Story 1, The Moonlit Path, continuation. The group's ordeal in the forest became a test of their sanity as the night dragged on. Jenna, acting on a hunch, insisted they follow the enigmatic stone's pulsing light, leading them deeper into the forest's heart. With each step, the fabric of reality seemed to thin, revealing glimpses of a shadowy realm parallel to their own, where twisted versions of themselves wandered aimlessly. The forest's ancient guardians, spectral entities bound to the stone's power, began to emerge from the shadows, their intentions ambiguous, guarding a forgotten truth, or perhaps a portal that the stone unlocked, a gateway they were unwittingly approaching. Story 2, The Forgotten Road, continuation. Mark's exploration of the shifting house revealed a nexus of trapped energies, remnants of lives once lived in bliss and despair. In the core of the house, he found a decrepit library filled with arcane books and manuscripts that chronicled the house's history and its role as a bridge between worlds. The spirits of the former inhabitants, trapped in a loop of their last moments, offered cryptic guidance, leading him to understand that the house, a living entity, sought to break free from its earthly shackles, using him as a conduit to the physical world. A plan set in motion decades ago that he was now part of. Story 3, The Lake's Whisper, continuation. Drawn into the lake's embrace, Emily experienced the memories and emotions of the spirits trapped below. She learned of a cataclysmic event that had caused the lake to swallow an entire village, its inhabitants now suspended between life and death in the lake's depths. The whispering voices sought her aid to break the curse binding them to the lake. As the barrier between the worlds weakened, Emily saw a chance to restore the balance, to release the spirits into the afterlife, and prevent the lake from claiming more souls. However, this act required a sacrifice, a life willingly given, to seal the breach and end the lake's sorrowful hunger. In these continued narratives, the protagonists are drawn deeper into the heart of their respective mysteries, each facing the daunting task of confronting the ancient and powerful forces at play. Their choices become increasingly complex, balancing personal survival against the greater good as they edge closer to the truths hidden in the shadows of the night. Story 1, The Moonlit Path, continuation. As Jenna's group ventured towards the source of the stone's light, the forest revealed its true nature, a liminal space bridging the mortal world and a darker, forgotten realm. The spectral guardians, once menacing, began to shift in appearance, taking on the visage of ancient protectors of the land, bound to the stone's fate. They communicated through visions, showing the group a catastrophic event in the distant past that had shattered the balance of the natural and supernatural worlds. The group realized the stone was not just a marker, but a seal, holding back a tide of dark energy seeking to spill into their world. To prevent this ancient force from awakening fully, they needed to strengthen the seal, a task that required them to understand and harness the same arcane energies that the forest's guardians had once controlled. Story 2, The Forgotten Road, continuation. In the heart of the shifting house, Mark uncovered a ritual chamber, the epicenter of the building's strange powers. Here, he found that the house itself was a sentient being, created by a powerful witch centuries ago to serve as a guardian against interdimensional threats. Over time, however, the house had grown lonely and twisted, its original purpose corrupted. To escape its physical confines, it needed a living anchor in the outside world. Mark, connected to the house through ancestral ties he was previously unaware of, was the key. He now faced a choice: to bind himself to the house, restoring its purpose and protecting the world from the lurking threats, or to find a way to sever the connection, risking the unknown consequences of setting the house's power loose. Story 3, The Lake's Whisper, continuation. Submerged in the lake's depths, Emily connected with the spirits of the drowned village, experiencing their final moments and the curse that bound them. She discovered that the lake was a nexus of natural and supernatural forces, its waters a veil between worlds, thin and fragile. The spirits, longing for release, needed a living soul to break the curse. Emily, with her innate sensitivity to the supernatural, was their beacon of hope. Guided by the spirits, she learned of a ritual that could cleanse the lake and free its inhabitants. But the ritual required a pure-hearted sacrifice to close the breach permanently. Torn between her desire to help and the cost of the ritual, Emily sought another way, delving into the ancient lore of the land for a solution that could save both the living and the dead without the need for further loss. Each story now teeters on the brink of monumental decisions and actions, with the characters deeply intertwined with the supernatural elements they sought to understand or escape. Their paths, fraught with danger and moral dilemmas, illuminate the thin line between heroism and sacrifice as they move closer to confronting the dark forces that have entwined their fates with the night. Story 1, The Moonlit Path, Continuation. The group, guided by the ancient protectors, reached the heart of the forest, where the stone's light was strongest. Here, they found an altar, hidden by time, where the energies of the natural and supernatural worlds converged. They learned that the stone was part of a larger mechanism, a network of ancient artifacts designed to maintain the balance between worlds, to reinforce the seal and prevent the dark energy from seeping into their world. They needed to perform a ritual that would restore the network's power. As they prepared, the shadows of the forest gathered, watching, as if aware of the group's intentions, and the night air thrummed with the power of the impending celestial alignment, the key to the ritual's success. Story 2, The Forgotten Road, Continuation. Mark, now aware of his connection to the house and its origins, delved deeper into the ritual chamber's secrets. He discovered a series of mechanisms and artifacts that controlled the house's energies, tools used by the original witch to navigate and safeguard the dimensional boundaries. The house, desperate to break its isolation, revealed its memories to Mark, showing him the centuries of guardianship and the toll it had taken. Mark realized that to save the house and prevent the interdimensional threats from entering his world, he needed to complete a ritual that would either anchor the house's consciousness to him or release it safely. The decision weighed heavily on him as the house's power grew more unstable, the barrier between dimensions thinning, threatening to unleash chaos. Story 3, The Lake's Whisper, Continuation. Deep beneath the lake's surface, Emily's communion with the drowned spirits revealed the ancient ley lines that crossed beneath the lake, sources of powerful natural energy corrupted by a dark event long ago. She learned of a ritual, lost to time, that could purify and realign the ley lines, breaking the curse without the need for a sacrifice. The ritual required elements from the natural world around the lake, each resonating with the ley line's energies, and a time of powerful lunar influence. Emily, resurfacing with this knowledge, faced the challenge of gathering these elements and performing the ritual under the watchful eyes of the lake's spirits, who feared the consequences of failure as the night of the lunar event drew near. Each continuation weaves deeper into the fabric of the supernatural, binding the characters to their haunted landscapes. They stand on the cusp of actions that could either save or doom their worlds, with the darkness of the night as both a threat and an ally in their quests. The stories, rich with the potential for heroism or tragedy, remain open. The next chapters ready to be written in the light of the moon or the shadow of the night. ###. Story 1, The Moonlit Path, Continuation. In the forest's heart, beneath the ancient altar, the group discovered a cryptic array of stones, each resonating with the power of the land. The ancient protectors, through visions and whispers, instructed them on arranging the stones to form a celestial map, aligning with the stars above. As the celestial event neared, the forest's dark energy intensified, manifesting as a palpable force. The group, working together under Jenna's lead, began the ritual, their actions echoing the ancient rites once performed by the forest's guardians. As they progressed, The boundary between their world and the shadow realm thinned, revealing glimpses of the dark forces waiting to break through, their fate hinging on the ritual's success. Story 2, The Forgotten Road, continuation. Mark, in the ritual chamber, uncovered a series of interconnected ley lines that the house was built upon. Each line, a conduit of energy flowing through the land. The house, acting as a guardian, had been maintaining the balance, but now it was failing. Mark, with the guidance of the house's memories and the witch's remaining artifacts, started the complex ritual to renew the house's bond with the ley lines, thus restoring its strength and purpose. As he chanted the ancient words, the fabric of reality around the house shimmered, threatening to tear open and merge with other, darker worlds. Mark's resolve was tested as he navigated the thinning veil, the success of the ritual crucial to sealing the rift and preserving the boundary between the dimensions. Story 3, The Lake's Whisper, continuation. Emily, armed with the knowledge of the ancient ritual, sought the natural elements around the lake that resonated with the ley lines. She found stones emitting a soft, pulsing glow, plants that thrived unnaturally in the dark, and water from the lake's deepest point, where the energy was strongest. On the night of the lunar event, she positioned these elements at key points around the lake, forming a symbolic representation of the land's energy network. The ritual began with Emily channeling the ley line's power, her voice merging with the lake's whispers, creating a harmonious resonance that spread across the water. The lake's surface glowed, reflecting not the night sky, but a vision of the ancient village before its downfall. The moment of the curse's inception playing out as if begging for rectification. In these continuations, the protagonists are deeply ensconced in their battles against the encroaching darkness, their actions crucial in the delicate balance of powers. Each story unfolds against a backdrop of ancient magic and supernatural forces, with the characters racing against time and fate to prevent the imminent breach of dark forces into their worlds. The narrative threads weave a complex pattern of risk, sacrifice, and the possibility of either salvation or doom, suspended in the shadowy realms of the night. Story 1, The Moonlit Path, continuation. As the celestial alignment approached its peak, the group at the altar felt the surge of ancient powers. The stones on the ground, aligned with the celestial map, began to pulse rhythmically, mirroring the heartbeat of the forest itself. The ancient protectors materialized more clearly, their forms now benevolent, guiding Jenna and her group in the final steps of the ritual. The air crackled with energy, and the veil between the worlds shimmered, revealing the lurking shadows just beyond. With the completion of the ritual imminent, the group must harmonize their actions with the celestial forces, sealing the breach before the dark energies could exploit the thinning veil and invade their world. Story 2, The Forgotten Road, continuation. In the heart of the house, as Mark continued the ritual, the ley lines beneath pulsed like arteries, channeling the earth's ancient energy through the house's foundation. The reality within the house blurred, past and present melding as the dimensional rifts began to heal. However, the process was draining, extracting a heavy toll on Mark and the house itself. To fully restore the balance and anchor the house's consciousness, Mark realized he needed to forge a deeper connection with the ley lines, a decision that could bind him to the house and the land in unforeseen ways. The house's whispers grew more urgent, encouraging Mark to complete the ritual, the outcome of which would determine the fate of both the house and the dimensional boundaries it guarded. Story 3, The Lake's Whisper, continuation. Around the lake, as Emily conducted the ritual, the elements she had gathered interacted with the ley lines, creating a network of light and energy that mirrored the village's ancient layout. The water of the lake stilled, reflecting not just the physical world, but also the spiritual realm it concealed. The spirits of the village, drawn to the ritual's energy, began to emerge, their forms gaining clarity and peace as the curse's hold weakened. Emily, connected to the ley lines and the lake's depths, felt the ancient wrongs and the possibility of redemption. The ritual's success hinged on her ability to unite the spiritual and natural energies, breaking the curse and freeing the spirits without allowing the dark forces that had caused the village's downfall to rise again. In these unfolding narratives, the protagonists are on the cusp of altering their realities, standing at the boundary where light contends with shadow. Their endeavors to mend the fractures in their worlds bring them face to face with the ancient forces that govern the balance between the natural and supernatural. The tension of their quests mounts as each decision and action weaves into the fabric of their stories, propelling them towards moments of critical confrontation with the unknown powers that await in the darkness. To conclude the Lost at Night horror stories, let's bring each narrative to a fitting close. Story 1, The Moonlit Path, ending. In the climax of their night-long ordeal, Jenna and her group successfully realigned the stones under the ancient altar, echoing the celestial patterns above. As they completed the ritual, a brilliant light emanated from the altar, piercing the darkness and silencing the encroaching shadows. The forest's ancient protectors, their forms now peaceful, nodded in approval before fading into the night. The path they had followed dissolved, revealing a clear trail leading back to the familiar world. As dawn broke, the group emerged from the forest, forever changed, with a deepened understanding of the natural and supernatural balance they had helped restore. The forest, no longer a place of menacing whispers and shadows, stood as a testament to their courage, with the moonlit path sealed, safeguarding the world from the dark energies lurking beneath. Story 2, The Forgotten Road, ending. Mark's ritual in the heart of the sentient house reached its peak as he successfully anchored the building's consciousness to the ley lines, renewing its purpose as a guardian. The house stabilized, its structure solidifying, and the threatening rifts to other dimensions closed, securing the boundary between worlds. Mark, now the keeper of the house and its legacy, decided to stay, becoming the bridge between the house's ancient wisdom and the modern world. He transformed the once neglected building into a haven for those seeking knowledge of the supernatural, turning the forgotten road into a path of discovery and guardianship, where the house stood as a sentinel against the darkness beyond. Story 3, The Lake's Whisper, ending. Emily's ritual by the lake, under the luminescent glow of the lunar event, successfully realigned the ley lines and purified the waters. The spirits of the ancient village, their forms illuminated by the ritual's light, found peace, releasing their hold on the lake and ascending to the afterlife. The lake, its curse lifted, reflected the true night sky once again, its waters clear and calm. Emily, having saved the lake and its spirits, became a guardian of the natural and supernatural harmony in the area. She stayed by the lake, protecting its history and ensuring that the balance of energies remained undisturbed. A sentinel watching over the tranquil waters that once whispered in the night. Each story concludes with a resolution that brings peace to the troubled settings and characters, turning places of fear and mystery into sanctuaries of knowledge and guardianship. The protagonists, transformed by their experiences, continue to live in a world where the line between the natural and supernatural is respected and protected. Their tales, a reminder of the thin veil that separates our world from the darker, hidden realms.